So we've got a price here of 74,365 Canadian. So we got the 2025 Ford Transit high roof cargo rear wheel drive, 148 wheelbase. And then this is what the inside looks like from the back side of things. So you can get a divider here. This is what the rear camera looks like. So it is pretty tall. And then once you turn the wheel, you can see it's obviously turning with it. All right, people, I've got a 2025 Ford Transit 250 high roof extended cab 148 wheelbase here in white. I would say the Ford Transit is probably the best van you can get on the market when it comes to, delivery drivers, Amazon drivers, and tradespeople. It's got a ton of configurability. You can get the medium roof, low roof, smaller cab. It's just, there's a ton of options. And for what you get in the van itself, I think Ford does a great job. You've got a really nice screen inside. You can get the rear camera in there. You've got a really nice back end part of it where it can be, softer on the floor. This one doesn't have any windows either on the side, so it gives you a little bit more privacy. So like I was saying, I highly recommend this Ford Transit van. It does have the upgraded 3.5 liter, and I would recommend that. It's got more power, which is great, especially if you're hauling a little bit more. It is a rear wheel drive setup, and you can get an optional all-wheel drive. But enough about that. Let's start right here at the front. We've got halogen headlights. You've got a honeycomb grille here with the Ford badge there. No camera here at the front. And then we've got the plastic grille there. It's not luxurious by any means. It's just to help you get your cargo from point A to point B, I would say. And they do a good job of doing that. So that's it really at the front here, guys. Let's take a look underneath the hood and go over the engine of choice. So underneath the hood here, we've got the 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6. You got 310 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque with the 10-speed auto. So like I was saying, it gives you a lot more power, I would say, if you're going to put a lot more in the van here. And, with that 10-speed, it's going to give you a decent amount of fuel economy. You can upgrade to the all-wheel drive. It just depends on kind of where you are. If you're going to be in that winter climate, cold, icy climate, I would definitely say upgrade to the all-wheel drive. But if you don't need it, then the rear-wheel drive would suffice. So that's it here underneath the hood. Let's take a look around the van and go over its options. So taking a look around the Transit van, we'll start with the tire and wheel setup. So we've got a 16-inch steel wheels, 235/65 R16s here at the front on a Continental tire. We kind of have a little bit of a liner inside here. We've got a plastic liner around the side of the fender, more plastic there on the sides. We've got a kind of like a tow mirror, if you will. So they fold in and out if you want. And then here we'll open up the inside. So mostly all plastic inside here, it's going to get kind of dirty, and plastic's a little bit easier to maintain. So I know a lot of people aren't looking to have a very luxurious inside, but we've got here your cloth seats. You can recline it and you can move it back, but I like the fact that you got like storage compartments here. So you got a cup holder here, some more storage here, even here at the top you've got some more storage on the passenger side, some cup holders there, USB, you got a 12 volt, and then we'll get into that side in just a moment here. But you know what, overall, it's got a decent amount of space here, and then you've got a step. And as you can see here, which we'll get into, there is no divider here. So you can put one, that's optional. But, as you can see, it's a pretty high roof, and you've got lighting all the way at the back. But that's really it here at the front. And then I'll give you a side profile view of what the Transit looks like from the side. So it is pretty long, I do have to say, with that extended, back. You're going to get at least about a foot, foot and a half. Now, the height on the side, I would say if you're looking from the bottom there to the top, I measured it, it's just about 8 feet or just over 8 feet. So you have a ton of room and you can stand in there. Like I'm about 5'10", 5'11". And this is what the inside looks like. And then you get a little bit of a step here, but you only have a door here on the passenger side. Now I believe you can get a door also on the driver's side, it's going to be an option. This here is a soft floor that you can get from factory, so I highly recommend it. I would say though, you're able to slide some stuff through it, so that's a big thing too. If you're going to be coming from the back and you want to slide things, to the front, you're able to do that. I wouldn't say it's sticky, but you get some insulation here too. You're able to put some shelves and whatnot on the sides here, I would say. Like I said, it's very tall. You got a ton of room here. And then this is what the back of the doors look like. There aren't really any windows here, which is nice, kind of more for privacy. So they are covered, but you can't see them even on the outside. And then this is what the inside looks like from the back side of things. So you can get a divider here. You know, it just depends on what you want. But as you can see here too, you've got more storage here on the top, right? So I would say that's nice, you know, to put paperwork and whatnot here. You've got your sun visors there. You know, I would say honestly, it's a really nice van, right? And like I was saying to you before, you got lighting all throughout the roof here. So really, really cool. And then we'll step out of here. And then we'll shut this up here. And I'll give you kind of more of a side profile view from the back. Pretty cool. And then here's what the tire and wheel setup looks like here at the back. So they aren't staggered. Same tire size, 235/65 R16s. Your exhaust is out the back here. And then you can see you got 2 leaf springs there. So that's it from a side profile view. Let's take a look at the back. So in the back here of the Ford Transit 250, we don't have a trailer hitch back here, but we do have a recovery hook. You can see obviously Transit 250s there. We got EcoBoost on the left and Ford badge on the right. These 2 bumper stops, I'll show you just in a minute what they're for. But we do get a rear camera that's pointed right at the top there, which is a really nice thing to have. I believe it comes standard on this, and you know, honestly, you really do need it. Now, opening up these doors, the one thing I love about them is not only do they open up a decent amount here, you've got a handle. This here, if you hit the unlock button there, the door will open just like that, and then that's what the bumper stop is there for, from preventing it from hitting actually the side panel. And you can do that on both sides. So that is something that I truly love about the Ford Transit, right? So there you've got that bumper stop there. And then here is what, again, the inside looks like from the back side of things. You got the step there, ton of room, like I said. You've got that, you know, black lining on both sides, and then you have a really nice kind of rubber floor. I like the fact, like I was saying before, it doesn't have any windows, so you get the privacy of keeping your tools or whatever cargo you have in here safe from people obviously looking inside. And it also has that lining there on the side door as well. So ton of great things they did when they spec'd this Transit out. Now, one other thing that I truly love is not only do you get a button to open up the lights back here, when you close the doors, you don't have to move any of these things here. So when you close it, grab the handle, and then it actually just clicks back into this piece of metal here. So I love that because it's less work needed, right? Just clips right back in there, and you're able to shut it just like that. So that's it for a back view, guys. Let's take a look at those seats. I just want to say thank you to Kitchener Ford here in Kitchener, Ontario. Go see my boy Connor. He'll hook you up with a great deal on one of these units. So inside the Ford Transit here, we've got that same type of cloth material here on the driver's side. It can recline here, and it does move back and forth just by pushing this lever up. Here again, we have that plastic door panel, more storage down here, lock and unlock, window controls here so you can control the passenger and driver. Cup holder here, you've got your light switch here as well with your mirror controls here, parking brake and auto hold, which I love. And then here's some more storage. Now the nice thing is here on the driver's side, you get a USB-C and a 12 volt with some more storage there. Now, before we hop in, I like the fact that you get a step here too, which is a nice easy entranceway inside, but you also get your fuel door right here on the driver's side, and it is covered. So you actually have to open the door because this little lip here is covered by the door when it shuts. So that's it before we hop in, guys. Let's take a look inside. So we are inside the Ford Transit van here. We'll start with the steering wheel. We've got a rubber steering wheel here. We've got your cruise control here with volume, and then we've got your settings here to control your Bluetooth, and then your menu here. So you can kind of go through and change, you know, the menu here, just scrolling through. So it just depends on kind of what you want, stuff like that. And, you know, you can kind of measure your trip, which is going to be interesting, obviously, depending on the cargo you have here. It does have lane keeping assist system, so just by pushing that in on your left with your turn signals, and then over here on the right is for your wipers. Now, like I was saying to you before, you've got USB-C, 12 volts, and then just some more storage. You know, how many times do people shove their paperwork inside here? You know, you've got a decent amount of room here to put it now. You do have a handle here as well, speakers on both sides of the A-pillars, and then we've got a little bit more storage there. And like I was showing you before, we've got some more storage on each side. You do have a lower glove box, right? So you can put more storage there. You've got some cup holders here, transmission select, this is what the rear camera looks like. So it is pretty tall. And then once you turn the wheel, you can see it's obviously turning with it. Now, if you click this kind of gives you a more zoomed out look, which I love. So you can see a little bit more, if you're backing up to a building or whatnot. Now, this is the screen here, which I think is very intuitive. It works well. And, a lot of these vehicles give you a crappy screen, if not anything. So you can hook up your phone, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It does have navigation here as well, which is awesome. You've got your home button here. It does only have, climate control. It doesn't have dual zone. No heated seats here, as we can see. You probably could add heated seats in here from the dealership, but, it's not the end of the world. You've got here different modes. So if you click this button here, normal, eco, slippery, and tow haul, this here will actually shut the screen off and make it more like a calm screen. And then all you do is click it to kind of resurrect it there. You can connect your phone. We can go to settings here. You got radio, phone, navigation, a couple different things. It does have a vehicle hotspot in here, which is pretty cool. It's just a basic screen, but you know what? It's a touch screen. It works really well, and you can connect your phone to it. You got your volume here, hazards, like I was saying, USB, and then you have a 12 volt here, and then here's where your key ignition is. And then what I like about this is you actually have a walkthrough here too. So honestly, for a van like this, it's pretty cool. You've got the screen there. It drives really good. I would say the turning radius on this is awesome as well. You can turn, on a dime, like especially that it's very long. It turns very well, I would say. Now, I'm sure you guys are curious about what the price is, and we've got the window sticker right out there. So let's go talk about that and go over the options. So we've got a price here of 74,365 Canadian. So we got the 2025 Ford Transit high roof cargo rear-wheel drive, 148 wheelbase, 10-speed auto, and then the options here, we've got the upgraded 3.5 liter EcoBoost, 3.73 rear diff. You've got the high-res camera, Sync 4 navigation, interior up package cargo. So like I was saying to you guys, the vinyl floor, all of these things are going to be included in this package. So let me know what you guys think about the Ford Transit here. I think it's a really nice van, and it's going to do well for a lot of people. The price, yes, I would say is definitely high, but if you can make that money back just by hauling your delivery cargo in here or your tools, might be worth it for you. So that concludes this review, guys, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.